Welcome to Haunt Weekly. Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted and attraction and haunted entertainment industry. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be the podcast for you. And this one is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit different. We're changing it up just a hair here this time around because, well, we really wanted to spice things up a little bit. And one of the ways we want to do is we want to take some of the ideas for episodes we've had that really didn't make sense as full 50-minute segments and compress them into like a rapid-fire super quiz round thing that we're going to do. And by that I mean it will not be rapid-fire at all. We're going to discuss each of these for about 6 to 8 minutes or so.
Right.
And I got to say, some of these suggestions came from our listeners. Very, very cool, you guys. Some of these suggestions came from conversations we had.
Yes.
And some came from conversations we just had with others randomly in the haunt industry. Mm-hmm. So these are all some of our favorite questions that we just didn't feel we could quite get a full 50-plus minute episode out of.
Right. But
so
we could get close.
We can get something good out of it and maybe some entertainment along the way is the hope. Entertainment and education. That is what we strive to do. And fail on both accounts. All right.
Hopefully we're entertaining.
You know, I screwed up my intro joke. I was going to originally say we're doing something different. We're doing the podcast sober.
No, that's true too. Because it's morning.
It's morning, yes.
It is morning. Yes.
But before we jump into the questions and hopefully some answers,
yeah, maybe
we should do some conference reminders for all these nice people. Should we not? Would you like me to begin?
Sure.
Well, first off, it is Chicago Frights coming up July 29th through 31st at Orland Park, Illinois at the Giorgio's Quality Inn and Suites. Find out more at ChicagoFrights.com. As we've reminded everyone before, this is the sister conference to HauntCon, so definitely check it out.
Yeah. And then we've got Haunt Fair, August 6th and 7th at the Clarion Hotel, Ronkonkoma.
Ronkonkoma.
We really should look that up.
We really
say
should.
that every time.
We've done it by now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
we're such professionals on this show. Thank God we're haunters and not podcasts.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that.
Anyways,
it's going to be at haunt-fair, FAIRE.com. Fashion show, car show, art show, and more. Haunted tour bus of Long Island, not a haunt tour.
Yeah, this is important, guys. There is a haunted tour bus. I know, like at these conferences, we're used to getting on buses and taking tours of haunts.
Yeah.
This time around, you will not be doing that. You will be getting on a bus and taking a tour on the bus of haunted locations along Island. I'm going to assume it includes the Amityville Horror House, though.
Yes, and as far as we know, the bus is not haunted either.
The bathroom might be, but that's something different.
Yes.
Well, after that, if you are looking for something to do on August 6th and 7th, but you can't go to Haunt Fair, maybe because you're on the wrong coast, maybe you should try Scare LA. It's at the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California. ScareLA.com is the site. Elvira's hosting a bunch of other great celebrities. It's Hollywood. Well, not really Hollywood. It's Pasadena, but it's California, baby. All the celebrities are there. Way to go, Jonathan. Way to go. Knock it out of the park.
And then September 9th through the 11th, there is Mask Fest in Marriott, Indianapolis East. MaskFest.com for more information on that.
And wrapping it up, November 11th through 12th is the Legendary Haunt Tour. It's at Pittsburgh Hotel, still TBA. It's done by the nice folks behind Transworld and all those, that stable of conferences, if you will, now.
Right.
They will be visiting Scare House and 100 Acres Manor, and you can learn more at legendaryhaunttour.com. 2 T's, guys. Don't screw it up.
Yes, all words spelled out completely.
All words spelled out in their entirety, ad infinitum, plus, cheerio, other legally sounding stuff.
Yeah, that didn't sound legal at all.
Yes, but those are your conference reminders. So, here's what we got this week. Instead of our usual, well-researched, well-thought-out show notes,
yeah,
we have a series of 6 questions that have been on our mind in various capacities, for various reasons, that we didn't want to do full episodes out of, but we wanted to talk about them, so this is our chance to put them together and bake a pretty cake out of these episodes. So yes, this will seem fairly random. It will be disjointed. That's half the fun. So come party with us.
Yes, and if you guys start sending us questions, we will hold them together and maybe start doing this more often.
Yeah, maybe this could be something like the every 4 episodes we do the news.
Yeah.
Every 4 episodes or so we do a haunt, rapid fire question thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's an idea.
It could be fun.
I literally did not mention that to you before.
I know. I didn't mention it to you either. But,
rubbing it out in the air. Anyways.
There it is.
Anyways, there it is. So, question number 1. Sorry, we were Rocky Horror this
weekend.
Should cities/counties or in Louisiana parishes move Halloween for bad weather?
No.
No. All right, next
Easy.
question. Well, I mean, okay. It's not quite that easy.
And I know that we've mentioned it a little bit before on the podcast.
Yeah, we talked about it before, but we never really went in any kind of detail on why we feel the way we do.
Right. And basically, this happens to us in New Orleans more often than
it happened
should.
last year, actually.
It did.
Well, okay, the attempted moving of Halloween, which is kind of the problem with this.
It is.
I mean, the big issue with trying to move Halloween is it never flipping works.
No. Because it just means that homeowners who do trick-or-treating have to put out candy 2 nights instead of 1.
Yeah. And that's what happened to us, is they tried to move it to the night before.
Right.
Which, that's terrible because they announced it like 24 hours. They announced it like seemingly minutes before. Oh yeah, by the way, you're trick-or-treating tonight.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the little kids who didn't have costumes yet. They were going to go out on Halloween Day and get their... Because there are some families that do that. That's the tradition for them.
Okay.
It's not my family.
Yeah.
But I know families that do exactly this, where they will go out Halloween Day, they will pick out their costume, they will get their candy bucket.
Well, and to be fair, I can see doing that, especially if you're on a budget, because a lot of the big Halloween shops will discount their costumes.
Stuff on Halloween Day, yeah. Well, I mean, and it's also like some places, you put up the Christmas tree certain time and this and that. It's just part of a timing ritual.
Yep.
And so that messes that up. And like I said, the bigger problem is it never works. Now you've got people trick-or-treating on 2 nights.
Right.
Because some people don't get the memo. Some people don't listen to the memo. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's chaos. Now, if there's an actual honest-to-God safety reason, like it's tornadoes or something, then yes, by all means, move Halloween. Fine, I get that.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's very rarely a safety issue we're actually talking about. It's usually just, it's going to rain.
Yeah.
Let's move Halloween.
Yeah. And the last 2 times they've done this in New Orleans, it actually just sprinkled. It didn't downpour or anything.
The absolute last time they did it last year, not only did it not downpour or anything, it didn't actually rain during trick-or-treat hours at all.
Yeah.
In fact, our haunt was open from 7 until 11:30 that night.
Yeah.
We didn't see a drop during opening hours.
I thought it started towards the end, but maybe not.
But yeah,
I could be remembering.
At the very if there was any, it was at the very tail end. It was way after trick-or-treat hours.
It was past little kid time.
Basically, it was almost past haunt time, so it was way past trick-or-treat time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, in conjunction with this, should haunts close on Halloween whenever there's bad weather in the area?
Well, haunts have a different set of concerns than the city.
It kind of goes together, though.
It does kind of go together. I mean, for haunts, if you have outdoor portions of the haunt, you probably should close for your safety reasons. And I know that sounds like I'm being a total hypocrite, but the difference is this. Haunts can get sued.
Yes, they can.
The risk of a haunt being sued is much higher than the city, for being sued.
Or a homeowner for, kids walking up to their house.
Yeah, and for rain. So, it's one of those things where, I mean, and the other point of it is you have to weigh the benefits and the negatives of staying open. If it's raining on Halloween, your year's already a little bit shot.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you stay open, you're not going to get the same traffic. You're not going to get the same the line that you would have gotten on better weather. So the result of that is you're not sacrificing nearly as much as you might be if you just cancel it on a bone dry, clear Halloween.
Yeah.
So it's something to think about, though. That's a good question.
Yeah, and it's always tricky with the weather because you never know really what it's going to do until the last minute.
No.
So if you play the cautious route and close ahead of time, and then it doesn't rain,
now it's a shock one year.
Yeah, then you're gonna look like yeah.
Well, I mean, the weather makes fools of us all. Is what it comes down to.
It does.
It's made fools of us. It's made fools of everyone before us, and it make fools of everyone after us. But it's just there is no good way to handle that if you're a haunted attraction.
Right, and I mean for a lot of the cities, the trick-or-treating thing, moving trick-or-treating, is strictly moving trick-or-treating.
Yes.
Because a lot of your school functions, their fall festivals and the church trunk-or-treats and the mall trick-or-treating, all of that happens before Halloween night anyway.
Yeah.
So this really does affect mainly, at least in our area, let us know if it's different in yours, but in our area, that's the way it is, and it really does just affect homeowners. And basically it means double candy night.
Yeah, double candy. And then you got the little smart bastards that come up both nights.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then you got the parents that didn't get the memo and show up on Halloween, or they got the memo and ignored it and just
right.
Or you got those that are dutifully following the memo and shit. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, you get candy. You get people coming around trick or treating both nights, and as a haunt that does trick-or-treating on Halloween night.
Right.
We're usually open 3 to 4 nights out of the year.
Yeah.
And we only do trick-or-treating Halloween night. That really screwed us up because we do not run full staff until Halloween night.
Right. We don't have our trick-or-treating
our road crew
candy givers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our road crew to keep traffic flow and everything.
We don't have them on nights.
We don't even have the trash cans set up most of the time. Before.
Oh, we started doing that this year, right?
We started doing that after, oh my gosh, a couple of years ago, a
giant apartment complex in the area
decided that they were going to bring all the kids from the complex.
And they apparently had this giant
party, yeah,
and like in the complex's common room, and then everyone piled into these giant vans that came to our home.
Yeah, they brought us like 250, 300 people that night.
Yeah, and we were not ready, and we didn't have the trash cans out because we weren't serving candy.
Right,
we weren't giving anything.
But they were kind enough to bring their own.
They brought their own and sprinkled it like crack all over the place. It was. Oh my God, it was great to have that kind of audience and that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
These kids, the adults too, popped like crazy inside the haunt.
Yeah, they
went nuts.
They loved it.
But man, that mess was, and ever since then.
Getting woken up at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday by your neighbors asking you to come out and pick up candy wrappers out of the street.
Oh man.
Not a fun job.
No. We worked very hard to make peace with our neighbors.
Yeah.
And that just hindered it greatly.
Yeah, because I mean, we did get what we could before we went to bed, but it was dark.
dark and we couldn't see crap.
It was dark and the street light was out at that time, so...
Well, we were very limited with what we could do, even with flashlights.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty big area we were trying to go over.
And we missed like 4.
we missed a fair amount, actually. I mean, but we did as good. We vastly improved things.
Yes.
But we still missed a fair amount.
Cans are out from opening night, just in case.
Yeah, now the trash cans are always
lesson learned.
Location. Yeah, lesson learned, guys. All right, next question in our pseudo-random questions. You ready?
Sure.
How old should kids be before going to haunted attractions?
Okay, so...
A needle pulling thread.
Exactly. It depends on the attraction.
I would agree with that.
I think the attraction sets its own limits, and then the parents, try to adhere to that. Now, I know that for ours, we don't let anyone under like 8 come through. We prefer to have them teenagers or older.
Yeah. we try when, like, the hard rule, the hardest of the hard rules is that they have to be ambulatory. They have to be able to walk on their own. And it sounds like, okay, well, my 3-year-old can walk. Walking in dark spaces and all that is significantly more complicated. Yeah. So being truly ambulatory in a haunted house sense, that usually begins closer to 5, 6, 7.
Right. And you tend to deal more with this than I do because I'm inside the haunt. And you're controlling crowd and saying who can come in and come out.
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
Doing my best, baby. Doing my best. But yeah, it's a tough question because, like you said, it does depend upon the haunt.
Right.
You don't want to subject anyone to material that they are not prepared for.
Right.
And because there's nothing that brings the mood of Halloween down quicker than a baby crying.
Yeah, and I don't remember having any small kids the last few years. I think word's gotten around that we're too scared.
Yeah, I think it has. I think because
we still do the trick or treating in the yard display for the little ones.
The little ones can come. They got stuff to do.
Yeah.
But man, I think you're right because I think I only actually put out like 2 or 3 people last year.
Yeah.
That were just too young.
Yeah.
It used to be every group. It seemed like this was a fight.
Yeah.
My little baby's old enough and I'm carrying this little one. And
it's like, no.
No, don't. No.
We are not a cheesy garage haunt.
No, we're not. We are not.
As one of the moms put it.
So aptly.
Yes.
Yeah. This isn't Raggedy Ann's Fun Hayride Adventure here. And that's just it. If you want to go on Raggedy Ann's Fun Hayride Adventure, go at any age.
There are places for that. There's a lot of farms that do the tractors.
Yeah, and all that.
And those, I think, are more appropriate for younger kids.
Because they're not having to walk, which is helpful as heck. But also because the level of intensity is usually lower. Now, like, you do have your haunted hayrides that are more intense.
Yeah.
But, like Eckert's Fun Farm, I don't think I would take little kids to that either. Their little haunted hayride thing.
I think it's okay for them.
You think so? Okay.
I think so because... especially if their parents sit them in the middle.
Okay.
Because they're not going to get anything too scary close to them.
Okay.
They'll get a little bit of a startle. We saw some young girls.
Yeah, we did. You were right about that.
And they loved it.
Okay.
They wanted to go again.
Fair enough. So, yeah, I mean, that is definitely a better environment for the little kids. But, yeah, it definitely depends on a per haunt basis.
Right.
But, I mean, it's always one of those tough questions.
I think it's also depends on the kids. I mean, if the kids are like, I want to go to a scary house.
Suckers.
Yeah. Then I think that there are age-appropriate places to do it. And I think some of the best first haunt experiences are going to be at like the JV haunt, or JC's. And
the charity haunts, the home haunts.
Yeah. Those are maybe not our home haunt, but...
but no.
Yeah.
I don't admit, the JC haunt I went to, my first one was downright messed up in some places, man.
Yeah, the one that we
some of those got pretty intense.
Yeah.
Some of those got pretty intense, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. It's how old should kids be is a tough question, and it depends on so many variables, but, and...
Now...
Go ahead.
I will say that I have heard from people that if you... advertise as a family-friendly haunted house and advertise towards a younger audience, some of the older kids will not want to go to you, and some of the adults, because they don't think they're going to have a good time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of a haunted attraction for the older crowd remains the, yay, I did it.
Yeah.
I'm tough, I braved this, I survived.
Yeah, I think that's part of the coming of age
element of it.
Yeah. Because, those kids that you turn away, they're going to come back when they're older.
And they should. I hope they do.
They're going to go, okay, I'm ready now.
All right.
Let me go through.
Exactly, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I don't know. I guess, as far as like a haunt setting a hard cutoff, I would think first and foremost about safety. How old do you have to be to traverse the haunt safely?
Right.
And I know most haunts cut the age off at like 12, usually 12.
Yeah, I was thinking. I don't think I've seen anyone under early teens at like mortuary.
No, most places have a pretty hard cutoff for haunts. For attendance, rather, at about 12 or so. Though some go as low as 10. I've seen that.
Right.
I have not seen anyone in single digits.
No.
I don't think so. Like, they gotta be able... Except for, obviously, kid-friendly and kid-facing haunts.
Yes.
Like the Uncle whatever Eckert's.
Yeah.
Whatever, I can't remember the name of it now. It already slipped my mind.
Yeah, well, and even the Lafitte Fire Department, they had some really young kids go through. But it was always with their parents and...
Yes.
You know, and they are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I would recommend it for them. I would recommend Waterloo for people up in Illinois area.
Kids went through that just fine, yeah.
Yeah, because it's fun.
And in both of those cases, it's also... One of the bigger issues when you're talking about the age appropriateness is the gore factor, obviously.
Yeah, gore and violence.
Gore and violence. Neither of those were particularly violent haunts.
Right.
They
and
were
also nudity.
High startle. Yeah, nudity, obviously.
I wasn't going to... You would think it's obvious, but Mortuary last year, they had some very realistic lady mannequins.
With all the correct lady parts.
Yes.
So yeah, but... So point taken. But yeah, the content of it is going to set it up too. So content and safety, figure out your cutoff. And as far as parents go, parents, quit being idiots.
Yeah, and should there be like a rating system like there is for...
I think that would be for like movies and video games and so forth. Yeah, I think there should be. Now the problem is, and this is where we're going to run into hiccups, is the rating systems for movies and films are trademarked by their respective organizations. So we can't just say, this haunt's a PG-13 haunt, or this haunt's an R haunt, or whatever. Yeah. We can't pull that off. Maybe we can get the MPAA to draft us an exception or something. I don't know. Or we would have to come up with our own rating systems, what I'm saying.
How many ghosts is it?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Smack you right across. All right, can we move on now?
Sure.
How large should a group be in a haunted attraction? Group size. Everyone loves this conversation.
Yeah. So, a lot of it depends on fire code.
Obviously.
I like the idea of 4.
Okay.
But that does kill throughput for a lot of haunts.
Yeah.
However, I don't like conga lines. Yeah. If you're letting me in with 100 other people, then I'm never going to feel like I'm left to the actors in the haunt.
Yeah. And, okay. And obviously the answer is this. It's a combination of fire code and throughput issues.
Yes. That's obvious, but it's also a very difficult question to solve.
It is. No, the two factors that are at play here.
Yeah.
Smaller groups are going to hurt throughput, but at the same time produce better results.
Right.
Now, if you have 10 people in line, you're not running a long line that day, break them up into 2x2. Put them all like they're on Noah's Ark or something.
Yeah.
Oh. That'd be great. I would love that. So you feel free to break it up. It's better for the actors. They're doing more. They're having more fun. It's better for the customers. They're getting more personalized scares.
Right.
But yeah, if you're running, if you have like 1,000 people at your door, I'm making up numbers, you've got a bigger problem because you can't do that.
Right.
It's going to be days before the people at the back of the line get in.
Yeah.
And so the result of that is you have to find that balance. Now,
or find a way to break up the groups.
Yeah.
Once they're inside.
Yeah.
Because that is the other alternative, and that's what 13th Gate does.
Now, like Leonard Pickle talks at great length about how you should build your haunt to run a conga line.
Yeah.
So that if you have to, you can, and it still doesn't destroy the experience.
Right.
And that's simple things such as putting your scares around corners so that the guy 20 people back doesn't see your drop panel.
Right. Hopefully not even 5.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, put them around corners. make sure that people just a few steps behind the scare are blind to it, basically is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good.
Yeah.
That is great. You should definitely do that. I agree completely. But if you believe that solves the conga line problem and the customer experience problem related to it, you're crazy.
Yeah. Because it's not seeing the scare that's more of the aggravation. It's more of I'm in a line of people who are not actors, who are not affiliated with the haunt in any way, and they're safe.
Yeah.
They're safe, therefore I am safe because I'm part of the herd.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. It ruins that immersiveness.
Right.
Because when I'm in a haunt, I like to look around and like to feel, holy crap, I'm actually in a haunted mansion. I'm in a laboratory. I'm in a boiler room. I am wherever.
Yeah.
If I look around and the first thing I see is 100 of, my favorite strangers.
Yeah.
It bites into that pretty heavily. So yeah, the key there is you have to find a way to strike that balance between throughput and customer experience. I think personally, for most professional haunts, a good group size ends up being between 4 and 8.
Yeah.
6 seems to be a sweet spot between throughput and quality of show.
Right.
But yeah, this is one of those areas where you need someone up front making game time decisions and throttling and accelerating as needed throughout the night, throughout the season.
Right.
And this is something a lot of haunts don't do, unfortunately. So they'll just say it's groups of 4 and they let them in, and next thing you know, they've got a line down the block and people are getting pissed off and leaving.
Yeah.
Or they're just saying it's groups of 8, and meanwhile they've got 8 people in line. They just let their entire line in one go.
Yeah.
I've seen both happen. Both have happened to us.
Yes.
And it's because they're not looking at the situation and making decisions and making adjustments.
Right.
So, for the love of God, people, think about it and make adjustments as you go.
Yeah, and if you do have 2 attractions side by side try to make it to where when you get out of one, you can go directly into the other if it's part of the same line. Not like 2 separate attractions like Necropolis and 13th Gate.
They're across the street from one another and all that.
No, this is one where you pay one ticket and you go from one house to another.
Yeah.
But there's
no way to go to one and not the other.
Right.
Like you're saying. I cannot, like with the House of Shock, I cannot choose to go to the Seaman Skunky sideshow thing and not the House of Shock.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, was because we were in line forever, and then we got through the first part, and then we were in line again for at least 15-20 minutes before we got into the actual House of Shock. Yeah. And that's a throughput problem. That's a throttling issue.
Yeah, it's a problem, and it's something all haunts face. We face it. Yeah. We have it. I think we have it a little bit more severe because of the size of our haunt. We cannot up throttle much.
No.
We cannot take larger groups.
Right.
So that does create an issue for us. But if you have a full size haunt, you probably have a lot more flexibility there, and you should use it.
Right.
Now, what this does mean is the people that come on your busiest nights are going to get the weakest show.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of the beast, and that's why when people ask me about when do you go to haunted attractions, I try to go early in season as possible usually.
Yeah. Early in season, early in the night.
Yeah, I try to get there at times in which there won't be a line. I want to get through that haunt. I want to get out the other side.
Yeah, because we got a lot of stuff to do.
We got stuff to do, and
we might not be. You might not be the only haunt on our list that night.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Because we try to hit 2 or 3 every time we set foot outside this house.
Yes. Now, this year is going to be awesome because I got a new job. Yay! And
oh, Christ. Here goes the podcast, folks.
It's going to give us a little bit more time, more weekend time to go and do more stuff. So that's great. And
it will be nice. It will be nice. I agree.
So hopefully we'll be able to meet some of you guys even. Yeah. We'll be putting some information about that, how to get us to come out. As we get closer into
season and as we make our plans. So what we usually do is we have Garbage Horror, our other channel, our video channel. what we'll do is sometime closer in, after we've mapped out what haunts we're going to, when we're probably going to them, we'll start putting here on the podcast dates and times we're going to try to be at places. These will not be absolutes.
Right.
Because we can never speak in absolutes.
Right.
Only the Sith deal in absolutes. Yes. Which in and of itself is an absolute, Obi-Wan. That is flipping stupid. And I'm sorry, wasn't it Qui-Gon who said that? Qui-Gon, you're an idiot. That is an absolute.
You've totally lost the plot at this point. You're gone.
It's over. Hey, I'm not drunk. I am sleep deprived. Anyways. So yeah, but we will post times and estimations then. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, is there a time/cost rule for haunts? I've heard variations of this theme.
Right.
Seems like an interesting one. My personal rule, and you can't see my air quotes because this is an audio-only podcast, but I'm air quoting this as I say rule, is $1 per minute. Why? I suck at math, and that helps with math.
It does.
So I say $1 per minute is the average rule. Now, that's not to say your haunt can't charge more than that.
Right.
If you have a $25 haunt and I get through it in 20 minutes, that's not necessarily bad. It just means I need to make sure that those minutes were well spent.
Right. And that you've got an awesome haunt to back it up.
Yeah, and typically speaking, I find that rule works pretty well for me. Now, others have said it's $1.25 per minute. Some have said it's $1.50 per minute. I've heard variations of it.
Yeah.
And I suspect, personally, that $1.25 may be closer to the more accurate version. Inflation is a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely getting there.
So I think that may be the more accurate one. But even then, I've seen some haunts that fell way, way short.
Yeah.
Time-wise. There, and yeah, so the long and short of it is, I just really, I don't want to think of this as an absolute rule. If your haunt really, really kicks ass and can justify that extra money,
right?
Godspeed, man. Charge the money.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, like you have places like Waterloo where it's like 30 minutes for $10.
Yeah.
It's 33 cents a minute. Okay, we came way ahead on this rule.
Yeah, we bought a lot of stuff from their store and their other things they had going on.
The snack bar, we bought
it was such a great deal.
We did their laser tag thing, which that was less
Yeah, but
awesome.
Their food was good.
Food was excellent there. Definitely recommend the funnel cakes.
Yeah,
they were banging. But yeah, I think there definitely is a rule here, though, and I think it is one that haunters should pay attention to, mostly because their customers will be paying attention to it.
Right. I mean, whenever I talk to people, and they're like, "Well, how much?" I ask them, "How much do you think it costs to go to a haunted house?"
Yeah.
And most adults say $10 to $15. And I'm like, well, actually.
Yeah. I mean, well, to be fair, there are $10 to $15 haunts. That's possible.
They're few and far between. They're usually charity haunts. But 25 to 45 is the norm now.
Yeah. Especially when you start getting into these multi-attraction and multi-event haunts.
Yeah, there are certain nights that you can go to some of our local ones for $15, but you have to be paying attention.
Yeah, you got to be really paying attention, and at times exploiting coupon codes and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, there are ways you can save a lot of money on haunts, and my favorite way, honestly, is like we were talking about just earlier, going early in the season.
Right.
You'd better believe every haunted attraction worth its salt is going to make sure that its customers on its busiest days are the ones paying full price.
Yeah.
That's just smart business. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong there. That's just smart business.
Yeah.
But as a means of doing some price differentiation there, and as a means to try to shift some of that burden to other nights, haunts will incentivize attendance early in the season. They'll incentivize it on Thursday nights.
September instead of October.
September instead of October. Go Thursdays instead of Fridays or Saturdays.
Right.
Go, or even go Sundays if the haunt's open Sunday.
Yeah.
I find Sunday, if a haunt's open Sunday's usually a very good day to go.
Yeah.
Not all haunts are, though.
No. Maybe this year because Halloween's on a Monday.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's going to be an interesting Hell Week this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so be on the lookout for those deals, but always be thinking about the people who pay full price and are they getting what they're going to think is a good value. Because one of the most common complaints I've heard from some haunts is, they get out the other side of it and they're like, I drove 30 minutes to get here. Yeah. I spent $25, $35, $45 to get in.
Right.
And it's over already?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the mortuary had that problem big time their first year.
Oh, yes.
Their first year, it was $20 to get in, and it was the first year we went, I should say, which I think
I think it was the opening year.
Yeah, because this is their 10-year anniversary this year.
Yeah, so we went the opening year.
Yeah, so it was $20 to get in, and it was 12-minute walkthrough.
No.
And we were upset.
And it was not a particularly great walkthrough that year.
No,
it was
the first year.
It was the first year haunt.
Yeah.
It was this is a haunt that's had, I think, some of the wildest ups and downs of any haunt. And when they've been banging, they've been great.
Yeah, we should really see about getting them on to talk about how they come up with their process, because they change complete themes every year.
Yeah,
do complete tear
and
down.
It's partly because the mortuary does other things the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So it'd be very interesting to have a conversation with them about that. But yeah, so as far as, the time cost rule, honestly, just pay attention to it and make sure that your customers don't feel like they're getting ripped off. And one good way to do that is what we're talking about in our next question. And the next question is, how long should a haunt be?
How much do you want to charge?
Okay. I actually have a different formula for this. And that is important, though. That's very important.
Well, you said it was directly related. That's the most direct answer.
Yes, it is. It's very direct. You're nothing if not direct, my dear.
Yes.
Okay, the first thing you have to think about, though, is how much time are they spending getting to you? If you have a haunt in a rural place, where a lot of your customer base needs to drive 20, 30 minutes out, then you better have a longer haunt that justifies that time investment as well as the cost investment.
Well, and also not only if you have a rural, but if you are in the only small town surrounded by rural areas.
Yeah.
The country folk will come to the city for haunted house.
Yeah, but basically if most of your customers I know. If most of your customers are traveling more than, say, 15, 20 minutes, be thinking about making sure that it's worth their time to come out. Because, look at it this way. If I spend 30 minutes driving to your haunt and 30 minutes driving home, I've spent an hour of my evening before I even look at the time that I'm spending there.
Right.
So we have to think about, is that a good deal? Now, I think focusing on how large the haunt should be is kind of a weird question, though, for one simple reason. Because, A, you can take a really large haunt and break it up into smaller ones.
Right.
And that's probably a very good idea for lots of price differentiation reasons we've discussed. You can do combo tickets, you can sell individual tickets, you got movement there you can take. Now, the problem with doing that is you want to make sure that the haunt experience fills the evening for them, ideally. And that doesn't necessarily just mean time inside the haunt.
No.
What else do you have to do there?
You can have drinks and snacks, as long as you get the right licenses.
Do you have
obviously
laser tag thingies? Do you have,
Do you have carnival games set
Carnival
up?
Games, good one.
Do you have the buried alive simulator that we've seen at some places?
So I think it's the same group going from haunt to haunt to haunt here in our region. But yeah, do you have these types of activities for people to do?
Right.
Because the idea is this. I get the $1 per minute rule and why that's important.
Yeah.
But you're taking up a significant portion of someone's evening.
Right.
Make it rewarding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is something a lot of haunts blow, is because it's like you show up, you go through the haunt, you leave.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I was just thinking, especially if you know that people are traveling a distance for you, what if they did like Holiday World? Haunts started doing like Holiday World, which is a theme park. on Water Park.
Indiana, right? Santa Claus, Indiana.
Yeah. And gave out free soda. There's a bladder issue there. So if you're one of the haunts that, takes pride in making people lose it, free soda's gonna help you. But free soda's cheap,
Yeah.
and it'll make people feel like you care about them.
Yeah.
And that gains you loyalty.
But also, it's on the flip side, soda is one of the highest margin items you can sell.
Yeah, I know.
So, it's one of those tough issues. Maybe you could strike a balance there by free cup, free soda or something like that with a ticket, or...
Yeah.
There are ways to balance that one out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I meant just for paying customers.
Obviously, I know, but still. The issue here, though, is as far as how long a haunt should be, it should be long enough to justify the trip and the expense.
Yes, and obviously you're going to be constrained by whatever size building and land you have.
Yeah, and that's one of the big frustrations that the mortuary continues to have. That's one of the big frustrations that a lot of haunts in this area tend to have, because we have haunts that tend to open up in smaller, more confined spaces.
Right.
And like when we went to Ripley's in San Antonio.
Oh, God.
That was a big issue they had.
Yeah.
Was they were confined to a historic building in downtown San Antonio.
Right.
Now, they did not do as well with it as the mortuary did.
Yeah. And, well, it was actually pretty geniusly laid out because one actor was running the whole thing.
That's our suspicion at the very, very, very least.
Yeah.
All right. And our final question, and this one's a fun one for us. Where should haunts stick their worst actors?
Parking duty.
Valet.
No, actually, okay. So there are two real answers to this. One, behind a drop panel.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take a lot of timing, and it's not going to be your biggest scare. Hopefully, it's not going to be your biggest scare.
Especially, the drop panel is especially good if you have some kind of an alert system.
Right.
Because the problem with bad actor, and here's the thing, we're very lucky with our haunt that we have a small enough crew.
Yeah.
That I think we have all good actors, honestly.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're in our crew going, hey, man, you did that to me. No. That's not what's happening here. People get put in places, usually for us, for thematic. That's what I like, is we get to make thematic choices about where to put people.
Right.
Not strength-based choices. We've had to in the past.
Yeah.
But in most recent years, we've not had to do that.
And the other thing is that our drop panel guy works 2 to 3 scares.
Exactly.
And that's like a coveted spot.
Yeah, it is.
And compare that to
Chamber or something like that, where I did drop panel duty one night.
Yeah, well, that or even Necropolis.
Yeah.
Because you can tell at Necropolis that they put their weaker actors behind the drop panels in Necropolis 13.
Yeah.
Because their timing is not there yet, and it could just be that they're new.
And for the record, yes, the weaker actor could mean newest. It could mean, still learning, still picking up the trade.
It doesn't mean that they're going to stay the worst.
No.
Or
hopefully it does not mean they're going to stay the worst.
Now, the other place that I would say put a weak actor with is with your best.
Okay.
Let them be the distraction for the best. That way they can learn from watching.
Yeah, and that's something that Kyle talked about in Distract and Startle once.
Yeah, because they're not going to get better.
No.
They're never going to get better if they're just behind a drop panel.
I agree. I think if it's just a drop panel, if it's not like a drop panel plus another scare or something like that,
right?
That is where you stick the people you have almost no hope for.
And that
they really want to scare people. They're really interested. They show up on time,
right,
but they just don't have the it factor.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Yeah. And if it's, at the end of season, and they want to do it again the next year, by all means, work with them throughout the year to get them to where they can be a better actor.
Some people love doing the drop panel. They do.
They do.
And it's especially good, like I said, if you have one where there's like a timing light or something, so they don't have to guess the timing.
Right.
It makes it very easy. They can get consistently good pops. They get great scares. And long story short, someone who's maybe not a great actor, maybe knows they're not a great actor, can still get the thrill of the scare.
Right.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. And the drop panel, as you said, is so simple.
Yeah.
It's so easy to use. And if you help with the timing just a little smidge,
right,
it really can produce very, very easy, very great scares for minimal work and minimal skill. So that's one of the reasons why, like I said, we've used it because, we use them because it's, like I said, it's a low effort scare. And when you're running a decent, a modest sized haunt with a handful of actors, you need that low effort scare there. So yeah, I think you're about right. But anywhere, I would also back it up though by saying that anywhere that's not directly customer interacting.
Right.
So we say drop panels. Obviously, any behind the wall type scare can work there.
Yeah.
Whether it's collapsing tunnels, whether it's usually air cannons these days are operated by laser tripwire. But if you wanted to have them do that,
right. Not everybody has laser tripwires.
I know.
But yeah.
But anything that's not customer facing is probably your best bet.
Yeah, because when the drop panel drops and they go rawr, it takes you out of the moment.
It does. it really does.
And yes, I have seen that.
It's happened. Yes, I was there. I remember that one. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, but in some pity here. If I recall correctly, we were there late that night on that one. They'd been doing it for a while.
I don't know.
So
I don't remember.
I think I remember everyone being a little tired. That walkthrough, but yeah. So obviously, you're going to pull them away from the customer-facing scares and give them something where they can be hidden and have stuff that's a little more thought-proof, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
But I also liked your idea, though, of taking your new actors, the ones you really do want to build up. They're your worst right now.
Yeah.
But you want to build them up. You want to grow them into something better.
Yeah.
So what you do is you stick them with one of your more accomplished, your veteran actors.
Right.
And have them work on something together.
Yeah.
Whether it's using the new guy as bait.
Yeah.
And letting him see how it works. Or just even doing a duo scare of some type.
Yeah.
And honestly, the bait role is really, really good because it puts you in a position to observe and watch how the veteran actors do it.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you can switch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think those are some great ideas. So anyways, that's 6 questions, all done just a little bit shy of 50 minutes. Any final thoughts on any of this? Anything you want to go back to real fast while we got a couple of minutes?
No, but I would like to once again invite our listeners to send us questions. We will answer them eventually.
Yes. You can send us the questions 2 ways right now. The first is via Twitter at username Haunt Weekly.
Yep.
And on Facebook also at Haunt Weekly.
Yay!
Like we had a thing going here. Who knew? Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an @reply, send us a whatever you damn well please. Like I said, we will be putting up a new website hopefully soon. I know I've been promising that forever.
Yeah, we shouldn't have mentioned it till we were almost done.
Yeah, that was really stupid. We hadn't even really started, unfortunately.
Well, I'll be starting that with the new job because I'll have more time.
And that's
in fact, I'll have 2 weeks before.
Yeah, and that's one of the things is there's been kind of some upheaval around here. Good upheaval, but upheaval nonetheless. Yes. And that is why, we're recording this episode so close to airtime, and also why the site has not really made much progress, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, honestly, I think this was a pretty good episode. I think we had some good topics here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we did not try to get 50 minutes out of these.
Yeah, hopefully everybody else thought it was a good episode too. If you liked it, let us know.
Let us know. Tell us what you think. We love your feedback. We love your opinions. Been enjoying all the new wonderful peoples that have subscribed to us.
Yeah.
Thanks to Haunt Topic Radio mentioning us. Once again, big thanks to you guys for the plug.
Yep.
Well, on that note, everyone, this was episode 30 Rapid fire questions. I'm going to make it rapid fire questions number 1, just in case we decide to do a number 2 later.
Is this like the annual thing?
It is, actually. I think I've decided this will be annual now. Of some sort, yes. You cannot, the annual thing, by the way, is you cannot have a first annual something. That is impossible.
Yeah.
It's not annual until you have the second one. But still, I'm going to put a number 1 here because it's my podcast, damn it, and we're playing by my rules. Grrr, rabble. So on that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this was Haunt Weekly, episode 30, rapid fire questions, number 1. There, said it, it's number 1. Will not take this from me. We'll see you next week.